Have you ever stopped to ask yourself why some people take and take from you, yet never seem satisfied? Why your kindness, your time, your energy sometimes feels like it disappears into a void, leaving you empty, tired, and even questioning your own worth? You've been there, smiling, helping, giving your heart freely, only to be met with indifference, betrayal, or exploitation. And deep down, you know it's happening more than it should. That feeling of being drained, of being used, is not because you are weak. It is because you have been giving your most precious gift, the gift of your heart, to people who simply do not value it. Imagine a life where your energy is treated with respect, where your efforts are met with gratitude, and where your kindness creates ripples of positivity instead of leaving you feeling hollow. This is not a fantasy. It is a reality you can create, but only if you understand one crucial truth: not everyone deserves your kindness. Yes, it may sound harsh, but the sooner you grasp this, the sooner you will reclaim your power, your peace, and your life. The truth is, giving indiscriminately can be more harmful than withholding, because every time you invest in someone who does not care, you take away from yourself, the very person who matters the most. Think about the people around you. How many of them truly celebrate your victories? How many of them genuinely care when you struggle? Some will smile and nod while secretly keeping a mental score of what they are owed. Some will take your generosity and assume it is endless, forgetting that kindness is a currency, not a guarantee. It's easy to fall into the trap of wanting to be liked by everyone, of wanting to appear good, of fearing conflict or rejection. That desire is natural. It is hardwired into human psychology. We are taught from childhood that being kind, polite, and agreeable is virtuous, but there is a difference between genuine kindness and self-sacrifice that leaves you vulnerable and depleted. Every time you say yes when your heart screams no, you are eroding your energy, your confidence, and your sense of self. Every time you bend over backward to please someone who will never return the favor, you are strengthening their power over you and weakening your own. And yet, it is possible to be kind without being foolish. It is possible to offer love, compassion, and generosity while also protecting yourself, setting boundaries, and knowing your worth. This is where the true power of selective kindness lies. The ability to choose where, when, and to whom you give your energy. Because kindness is not a resource to be wasted, it is a gift meant for those who deserve it, those who uplift, those who inspire, and those who reciprocate. In this video, we are going to uncover the psychology behind why we overextend ourselves, why we feel compelled to be everything for everyone, and why that pattern often leads to disappointment, frustration, and exhaustion. But more importantly, we will explore the path to reclaiming your energy, your peace, and your life by learning to be kind selectively, wisely, and powerfully. By the time this video ends, you will understand how to protect your heart without losing your humanity, how to love without being used, and how to invest your kindness in a way that truly nourishes both you and those around you. Imagine the freedom of no longer feeling obligated to meet every expectation, to appease every person, to shoulder every burden. Imagine the clarity and confidence that come when you realize your kindness is sacred, and that you have the right to choose where it flows. Imagine a life where your energy creates abundance, not depletion, where your love strengthens, rather than diminishes, where your heart is honored instead of exploited. This is not a distant dream, it is attainable. And the first step begins with a simple yet revolutionary decision to stop being kind to everyone and start being wise about who truly deserves your generosity. If you stay with this video till the end, you will gain a deep understanding of the mental shifts needed to protect yourself, the techniques to recognize those who drain your energy, and the courage to prioritize your own well-being without guilt. You will learn why saying no is not selfish, why boundaries are not cold, and why selective kindness is the key to living a life full of respect, purpose, and fulfillment. By embracing this truth, you will unlock a level of inner strength you may have never known existed, and you will finally be able to give your kindness in a way that empowers, uplifts, and transforms your life. Your kindness is precious, your heart is valuable, and it is time to honor both. Not everyone is worthy of your generosity, your time, or your love, but that does not make you cruel. It makes you wise. It makes you strong. It allows you to save your energy for the people and the moments that truly matter. So, if you are ready to stop giving endlessly to those who will never appreciate it, to stop being drained by the demands of others, and to start living a life where your kindness is a power, not a weakness, then you are in the right place. The journey to reclaiming your heart starts now, and the insights you will gain here will change the way you see yourself, your relationships, and the world around you. Are you ready to stop being kind to everyone and start being smart, strong, and unstoppable in your generosity? Then let's begin. If you want, I can proceed to the second section next and continue the script in the same deep motivational style. Do you want me to do that? The truth is, not everyone you meet will have good intentions. Some people will smile at you while quietly taking more than they give. Some will appear friendly, but their presence leaves you feeling empty, exhausted, or even manipulated. This is not a reflection of your kindness. It is a reflection of their choices. Human psychology shows that we are naturally drawn to those who meet our needs. But we are also prone to attracting people who exploit our generosity. When you give freely to the wrong person, you are not helping them. You are slowly draining yourself. Every ounce of energy, every act of care, every moment spent trying to please someone who does not value it comes at the cost of your own well-being. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that kindness must be unconditional, that saying yes is proof of our worth, and that avoiding conflict makes us virtuous. But the real cost of this belief is subtle and cumulative. Stress builds, resentment grows, self-respect diminishes. You begin to wonder if your efforts are worth anything at all. You may feel guilty for setting limits, even when your body and mind are screaming for space. This inner conflict is a natural signal telling you that your energy is being mismanaged, that your kindness is being misapplied, and that it is time to make a change. Selective kindness is not selfish, it is strategic. It is about understanding the value of your energy and learning to protect it. When you choose carefully where and to whom you give, your acts of kindness become more powerful. They carry weight. They are felt deeply. People recognize and honor them. Your time and effort become treasures, not tools to be taken for granted. Psychology tells us that humans respond to boundaries with respect. When you show that you will not tolerate exploitation, the world adapts, and those who are meant to be in your life rise to meet your standards. Every act of kindness you give should be intentional, not automatic. Each word, each gesture, each moment of attention should come from a place of strength, not obligation. By protecting yourself from those who take without giving, you preserve the energy needed for relationships that are reciprocal, nourishing, and empowering. You begin to live in alignment with your true value. You discover that protecting your heart is not cruelty, it is wisdom. And in that wisdom, your life begins to transform. Your kindness no longer leaves you empty. It fuels growth, connection, and fulfillment. When you embrace this truth, you start seeing the world differently. You see who deserves your care, who respects your boundaries, and who adds meaning to your life. And with every choice to protect your energy, you take one step closer to living a life where your heart is honored, your efforts are valued, and your kindness becomes the powerful force it was always meant to be. Many of us overextend our kindness because we are wired to seek approval. From a young age, we are taught that being liked, being helpful, and avoiding conflict are signs of goodness. This desire to be accepted is deeply rooted in our psychology, and it drives us to say yes, even when we feel overwhelmed, to give even when it costs us, and to sacrifice our own needs in the hope of gaining validation. At first, it may seem harmless, even noble, but over time, this pattern creates a cycle where your energy is constantly drained and your self-worth becomes dependent on how others respond to your generosity. People-pleasing often disguises itself as kindness, but it is fundamentally different. True kindness comes from a place of strength and choice. It is deliberate, intentional, and aligned with your values. People-pleasing, on the other hand, comes from fear. The fear of rejection, the fear of disapproval, the fear of being alone. When you give out of fear instead of choice, your efforts lose their power. They no longer lift others, they only diminish you. Recognizing this distinction is crucial because it allows you to reclaim your energy, redirect your focus, and start investing in relationships and actions that are meaningful and rewarding. Another reason we overextend ourselves is empathy taken to an extreme. Feeling deeply for others is a gift, but it can become a burden when it blinds you to reality. You may assume responsibility for everyone's happiness, taking on struggles that are not yours to carry. You may feel guilty for saying no, as if withholding kindness is a moral failing. But the truth is, your responsibility is first to yourself. Only when your energy, your heart, and your mind are intact can you truly make a positive impact on others. Protecting yourself is not selfish, it is the foundation of sustainable generosity. Learning to set boundaries is a psychological shift. It begins with awareness, seeing clearly where your energy is being wasted, and continues with action, choosing deliberately how, when, and to whom you give. Each boundary you set is a declaration of your value, a statement that your kindness has limits and that your well-being matters. As you embrace this approach, you will notice a profound change. People begin to respect you more, your relationships become more authentic, and your life gains a clarity and focus that was missing when your energy was scattered. Your kindness is powerful, but its true strength is revealed only when it is given wisely. By understanding the psychological forces that drive overgiving and learning to redirect your generosity, you reclaim control over your life. You no longer give endlessly to everyone. You give meaningfully to those who deserve it. In doing so, your heart remains protected, your energy preserved, and your life transformed. True strength lies not in giving endlessly, but in giving with intention. When you understand the value of your energy, you begin to see kindness differently. It is not a commodity to be scattered carelessly. It is a gift that carries power, influence, and impact. Every moment, every act of compassion, every ounce of attention you give has weight. When you give blindly, that weight is lost, scattered on those who neither appreciate nor reciprocate. But when you give wisely, your kindness becomes transformative for you and for the people who truly matter in your life. Selective kindness is a skill, and like any skill, it requires awareness, practice, and courage. You start by evaluating the relationships around you. Who uplifts you? Who respects your boundaries? Who celebrates your victories and supports you during challenges? These are the people who deserve your heart, your time, and your energy. When you invest in them, your kindness multiplies. It fosters trust, deepens connection, and creates a positive cycle of mutual respect and support. On the other hand, those who drain, manipulate, or take without giving are not enemies. They are simply mismatched for your energy. Recognizing this distinction is essential for your emotional health and personal growth. There is a profound psychological truth behind giving wisely. Boundaries do not repel, they protect. They teach others how to treat you. When you set limits on your time and energy, you are not being cold or uncaring. You are signaling that your heart is sacred and that your kindness is not to be taken for granted. People respond to clarity and strength. When your actions are guided by intentional generosity, your presence becomes respected, your relationships more authentic, and your life more balanced. Every act of kindness should come from choice, not obligation. When you give from strength, it uplifts you as much as it uplifts others. You no longer feel drained, resentful, or used. Instead, you feel empowered, fulfilled, and aligned with your true values. Your kindness becomes a source of energy rather than a drain on your soul. Each boundary you set, each deliberate act of generosity reinforces your self-respect and reshapes the way the world interacts with you. Learning to be selectively kind is not about rejecting people, it is about embracing wisdom. It is about choosing to honor yourself while still offering compassion. It is about giving in a way that strengthens you and those who deserve your care. By mastering this balance, your life begins to shift. Your energy is preserved, your relationships deepen, and your acts of kindness gain the power and meaning they were always meant to have. Setting boundaries is not easy. It goes against years of habit, against the fear of rejection, and against the desire to be liked by everyone. Yet, it is one of the most powerful steps you can take to protect your energy and your heart. Boundaries are not about building walls. They are about creating a space where you can thrive. They define where your responsibility ends and where someone else's begins. They are a declaration that your well-being matters and that your kindness is not infinite. Every time you enforce a boundary, you are training yourself and others to respect your limits. Many people confuse boundaries with selfishness, but there is a crucial difference. Selfishness takes without consideration. Boundaries protect while allowing for healthy interaction. They are an act of self-respect, not defiance. When you clearly communicate your limits, you prevent others from draining you emotionally, mentally, and physically. You stop giving in ways that leave you exhausted and resentful. Instead, you preserve your strength, ensuring that when you do give, your kindness has impact and meaning. This is the psychology of sustainable generosity, the understanding that, to help effectively, you must first be whole, centered, and protected. Recognizing the signs that your energy is being misused is part of setting effective boundaries. Pay attention to patterns, people who consistently take without giving, those who manipulate, those who criticize more than they encourage. These are not people to cut out of life arbitrarily, but they are people whose demands on you must be managed carefully. By creating limits, you assert control over your time, your effort, and your emotions. You begin to understand that saying no does not make you a bad person. It makes you strong, aware, and self-respecting. Psychology shows that humans respond to boundaries with clarity and respect. When you communicate your limits, you reduce confusion, resentment, and exploitation. People begin to understand what is acceptable and what is not, and they adjust their behavior accordingly. This creates healthier, more balanced relationships where kindness is valued, reciprocity exists, and mutual respect thrives. Each boundary you set strengthens your confidence, sharpens your awareness, and nurtures your inner peace. Setting boundaries is an act of courage, but it is also an act of wisdom. It transforms your relationships, protects your energy, and preserves the integrity of your heart. By learning to say no when necessary, to choose when and where to give, and to protect your emotional resources, you cultivate a life where your kindness is powerful, not wasted, and where your energy fuels growth, fulfillment, and genuine connection. Learning to recognize toxic people is one of the most important skills you can develop to protect your energy and your heart. Toxicity does not always announce itself loudly. Often it creeps in quietly, disguised as charm, flattery, or neediness. These are the people who take more than they give, who complain more than they celebrate, and who drain your energy while leaving little or nothing in return. Psychology shows that humans are highly influenced by patterns and repetition. When you repeatedly engage with someone who disrespects your boundaries, it becomes easier to normalize their behavior, even when it is harmful. Being aware of these patterns allows you to break free before the damage goes too deep. There are clear signs to watch for. Toxic individuals often manipulate conversations to focus on themselves. They rarely listen with empathy, instead steering every interaction toward their own benefit. They may guilt you, make you doubt yourself, or push your limits until your kindness becomes a tool for their advantage. They do not respect your time, your effort, or your emotions. Interactions with them often leave you feeling exhausted, anxious, or resentful. Recognizing these signs early is crucial, because awareness is the first step toward protecting yourself. Understanding toxicity is not about labeling or judging. It is about safeguarding your well-being. By observing how someone affects your mental and emotional state, you gain clarity on where to invest your energy. People who uplift, support, and respect you deserve your kindness. Those who drain, manipulate, or exploit it do not. Protecting yourself from toxicity is not selfish, it is necessary for your growth and your peace of mind. Once you identify toxic patterns, you can take deliberate steps to create distance or enforce boundaries. This does not always require confrontation or anger. Often, it simply means being selective about the time, energy, and attention you give. You are allowed to walk away from situations that harm you and to prioritize your own well-being. Psychology confirms that maintaining boundaries with toxic individuals increases self-esteem, reduces stress, and enhances emotional resilience. Your kindness should never be a doorway for exploitation. When you learn to recognize and manage toxicity, your life begins to change. You reclaim your energy, strengthen your heart, and create space for people who truly deserve your generosity. By choosing carefully who receives your time, your attention, and your compassion, you ensure that your acts of kindness carry meaning, impact, and power. Your life becomes a reflection of wisdom, strength, and intentional generosity. Having the courage to prioritize yourself is a turning point in the way you live, love, and give. For too long, many of us have believed that putting ourselves first is selfish or wrong. But psychology tells a different story. When you protect your energy, your time, and your heart, you are not acting selfishly. You are acting wisely. You are acknowledging that your well-being is the foundation upon which every meaningful relationship and every act of true kindness must be built. Without this foundation, your generosity becomes fragile, your patience wears thin, and your sense of self begins to erode. Prioritizing yourself begins with a simple yet profound understanding: you cannot pour from an empty cup. No matter how much you care, how much you love, or how much you give, if you are depleted, your ability to impact others is compromised. Choosing yourself does not mean you stop caring for others. It means you care for yourself first, so that your care has depth, intention, and power. It means giving from a place of fullness rather than emptiness, from choice rather than obligation, and from strength rather than fear. Courage is required because this choice often goes against old habits and social expectations. People may misunderstand you. Some may resist your new boundaries or question your intentions, but true strength is in standing firm, knowing that your value is not determined by others' approval. When you choose yourself, you are not cutting people out of your life arbitrarily. You are creating space for meaningful connections and protecting your heart from unnecessary pain. This courage builds confidence, resilience, and clarity. You start to understand that your energy is a resource, and how you use it determines the quality of your life. Prioritizing yourself also teaches others how to treat you. When you respect your own needs, others begin to respect them as well. Your choices send a powerful message. Your kindness is not unlimited, your time is valuable, and your heart is sacred. By asserting this truth, you attract people who honor you, uplift you, and reciprocate your generosity. Those who do not adjust will naturally drift away, leaving room for relationships that are authentic, supportive, and empowering. Choosing yourself is not an act of arrogance, it is an act of wisdom. It is the key to living a life where your kindness is powerful, your energy is preserved, and your heart remains strong. When you embrace this courage, you no longer give out of fear, guilt, or obligation. You give intentionally, wisely, and fully. Your life transforms, and your kindness becomes a force that uplifts, inspires, and strengthens both you and those who truly deserve it. When you begin to give your kindness selectively, the rewards are profound. Life changes when your energy is directed toward people who truly value and respect it. Every act of generosity becomes meaningful. Every moment of care carries weight. Relationships deepen, trust grows, and connections become authentic rather than transactional. Psychology shows that humans thrive on reciprocity. When you invest in people who uplift and support you, your energy is replenished rather than depleted. You begin to experience a cycle where kindness returns to you multiplied, creating a life of balance, fulfillment, and joy. The benefits extend beyond relationships. When you protect your energy and give wisely, you gain clarity and focus. You can dedicate yourself to goals, passions, and personal growth without constant distraction from those who drain your resources. Your mind becomes sharper, your decisions more intentional, and your confidence grows. There is a sense of freedom in knowing that your heart, your time, and your efforts are invested in the right places. This freedom allows you to live fully, act boldly, and love deeply without fear of being exploited or misunderstood. Selective kindness also strengthens your emotional resilience. When you stop giving indiscriminately, you no longer carry the weight of others' expectations or negativity. You are no longer bound by guilt or fear of rejection. Instead, you build a protective shield around your energy, one that allows you to engage with the world compassionately yet wisely. This balance between care and self-preservation is essential for long-term emotional health. It ensures that your kindness never diminishes you, but instead empowers you to be your best self. Imagine the life you can create when your kindness is intentional. You are surrounded by people who respect your boundaries, who uplift you in return, and who value your presence. Your energy is no longer scattered or wasted, but concentrated where it produces growth, connection, and fulfillment. Your heart feels lighter, your mind clearer, and your spirit stronger. Every act of generosity you choose to give carries significance, impact, and lasting value. By learning to invest your kindness wisely, you transform not only your relationships, but your life itself. Your generosity becomes powerful, your connections become genuine, and your energy becomes a force that strengthens rather than drains. The rewards of selective kindness are real, tangible, and life-changing. When you give wisely, you create a life filled with respect, love, and fulfillment, where your heart remains sacred and your kindness carries the true impact it was always meant to have. Every change begins with action, and choosing to protect your energy requires a deliberate step forward. Reflection alone is not enough. You must act with intention to reshape how your kindness is expressed. Start by asking yourself honest questions. Who truly deserves your time? Who lifts you up rather than drains you? Who adds value to your life rather than taking from it? Answering these questions with clarity allows you to redirect your energy where it will be most effective, most appreciated, and most meaningful. Action turns awareness into power. Making these choices requires courage because old habits and expectations can feel heavy. Saying no may feel uncomfortable at first. Some people may resist or even challenge your boundaries. Yet every act of self-protection reinforces your worth. Each time you choose wisely, you send a clear message, not only to others, but to yourself, that your energy is precious, your kindness is powerful, and your heart deserves respect. This courage transforms the way people interact with you. Those who truly belong in your life will adapt, and those who do not will naturally step away. Taking action also strengthens your self-respect. When you prioritize yourself, you acknowledge that your needs matter, that your well-being is essential, and that your kindness is not an endless resource. Psychology shows that people who maintain clear boundaries experience higher self-esteem, lower stress, and stronger emotional resilience. They navigate life with clarity and confidence, no longer allowing themselves to be manipulated or overextended. By acting deliberately, you build a foundation where your generosity is sustainable, impactful, and aligned with your true values. Intentional action transforms your life in subtle yet powerful ways. Your relationships become more authentic, your energy more focused, and your heart more protected. You begin to notice the difference between being drained and being fulfilled, between giving blindly and giving with purpose, between losing yourself and honoring yourself. With each step, your kindness gains weight, your influence grows, and your life becomes a reflection of wisdom, strength, and intentional generosity. Choosing to act is not just a decision, it is a declaration. It is a commitment to yourself and to the people who truly matter. By taking control of how, when, and to whom you give, you ensure that your kindness is meaningful, your energy preserved, and your heart safeguarded. Every action you take in this direction brings you closer to a life where your generosity uplifts, empowers, and transforms both you and those around you. When you fully embrace selective kindness, you begin to see the profound impact it has on your life and on those around you. Giving with intention creates a ripple effect. Every act of generosity, every thoughtful gesture, and every moment of support becomes meaningful because it comes from a place of strength rather than obligation. People respond to authenticity. They sense when your energy is genuine and when it is freely given. By choosing wisely where to invest your time and care, you make every interaction more powerful, more valued, and more transformative. This shift also changes the way you experience relationships. Instead of being drained by constant demands and unreciprocated efforts, you find yourself surrounded by people who respect your boundaries and appreciate your presence. These relationships are deeper, richer, and more rewarding. They are based on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine connection. Your energy is no longer wasted on those who do not value it, and this clarity allows you to cultivate bonds that truly nurture your heart and soul. Selective kindness also strengthens your sense of self. Every time you make a deliberate choice to protect your energy, you reinforce your worth and acknowledge the importance of your own well-being. You begin to realize that your heart is not a tool to be exploited, but a treasure to be honored. This awareness builds confidence, resilience, and emotional stability. It teaches you that kindness is not about pleasing everyone. It is about giving thoughtfully, powerfully, and meaningfully. Psychology shows that humans thrive when they feel respected and valued. By directing your kindness to those who deserve it, you create an environment of positivity and support both for yourself and for others. Your generosity becomes a source of empowerment rather than depletion. Each act of intentional kindness strengthens your spirit and reinforces the message that your energy is sacred and your time is valuable. Living with selective kindness is living with purpose. It transforms the way you give, the way you connect, and the way you experience life. Your heart becomes a source of strength. Your energy becomes a tool for meaningful impact. And your life becomes a reflection of wisdom, intentionality, and deep fulfillment. When you choose carefully where to give, your kindness gains true power, creating a life where your generosity uplifts, inspires, and resonates long after each moment has passed.